studios in downtown Amarillo. ABC 7 News at 6. The Panhandle Spirit starts now.
First tonight at 6, after ransomware knocked out Potter County's IT system for weeks, the commissioners decided today to outsource their IT services with Andrews and Associates.
The company says their first step will be to help pick up those pieces from the recent attack and then provide employee education and training. Also saying they will put security layers in place to prevent the situation from happening again and to provide backups to mitigate damages. Potter County says with the new addition, no one will be losing their jobs, but will instead be switching titles. They did not disclose how much the partnership will cost or how long the contract will last. Developing tonight, a former Pampa High School coach is now facing charges of sexual assault and improper relations with a student. Pampa police say the first report came in on July 1st. After notifying Pampa ISD and investigating, the case was handed over to the Gray County District Attorney's Office for review. Last Tuesday, the case was given to a grand jury, and 30-year-old Andy Lopez was indicted on 2 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of improper relationship between an educator and student. After the indictments were issued, officials discovered that Lopez was in Brown County, south of Abilene. He was arrested on Friday and is being held in the Brown County Jail on $450,000 bond.
New tonight at 6, Amarillo police are still searching for a truck involved in a deadly hit and run overnight. This happened at the intersection of Evergreen and Northeast 9th Avenue. That's where APD says 55-year-old Khan Naing was lying in the middle of the street. Witnesses say a red truck ran over him. They told officers the driver stopped, got out of his car, and then left. If you have any information on the crash, you're asked to call Amarillo police.
Many students and teachers in the Panhandle are heading back to the classroom this week. They now have a new tool in case of traumatic events like an active shooter situation or a major shop class injury.
ABC 7's Tiffany Lester tells us more about how local first responders are working to stop the bleed.
Just feed it through there, yes ma'am. And honestly, as tight as you can get it, turn this until we see the bleeding stop.
Crestview Elementary School teachers in Canyon are getting a crash course on first aid.
It's not hard to do, but I don't want to pinch you. Okay. Now twist this 2 times.
It's part of the nationwide Stop the Bleed initiative, which started after the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012. Amarillo has been working to implement the program for the last year or so.
We have a saying in our industry that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your training. And so everything that we do is in repetition over and over and over in preparation for events that may take place or accidents that may happen.
The plan is being used during a time when there are more and more mass tragedies happening in schools, churches, and shopping centers.
When you hear about kids being hurt, I mean, it scares you. It just instills fear in you. You know, it's always a fear that something could happen, but just know that we're safe and we are taking care of your students.
We've had some very public incidents that have really highlighted how important this training could be. But it's not just for active shooter situations. Certainly the training that's gained here can be used in workplace incidents, car accidents. I mean, in a school, if you have a shop, there's obviously power tools. There's lots of places where this type of training can be applied.
The tourniquet and the medicated gauze are the 2 big lifesavers in these Stop the Bleed kits. First responders tell me it only takes minutes for a person to bleed to death, and these can make all the difference.
Time is tissue, so the longer someone hemorrhages, the more damage that can happen.
Each AISD and CISD school gets 1 kit per 100 students. In Canyon, Tiffany Lester, ABC 7 News.
Amarillo ISD won a $10,000 grant to put the kits together. Amarillo Fire, Police, Amarillo Medical Services, along with the Potter and Randall County Sheriff's offices, joined together to get more donations to make sure there's enough. Texas House Bill 496 was signed into law over the summer, which now requires all Texas schools to have Stop the Bleed kits.
And despite rainfall today, the Potter County Commissioners approved a burn ban for the next 90 days. Commissioners say that our persistent, hot, dry, windy weather conditions are to blame. The last burn ban for Potter County expired back in May. The only other burn ban in the Panhandle is in Oldham County, adjacent to Potter County, which was also just enacted today.
And it is good to see some showers and thunderstorms. Maybe all they had to do was enact the burn ban, but we've got some rain falling here in Amarillo right now. Let's go to our sky cam at Wonderland Park. You can see the raindrops going by the lens and our anemometer wind sensor blowing in the wind. We've got 2 thunderstorms, one right over downtown, another just southwest of town, and that's one of many across mainly the northern half of the Panhandle. We take I-40. Most of the thunderstorms are north of the interstates. Let's zoom right into town. There's one on the northwest side of town and one on the west and southwest side of the city. Both of those moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. You see the other showers and storms in Wheeler, especially Hemphill County, socked in with a lot of rain. The Oklahoma Panhandle has some rain, mainly on the eastern side of Texas County from Hooker down toward Hardesty, and then more thunderstorms in eastern New Mexico heading southeast. That's a quick check of your weather. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast coming up here in about 12 minutes.
Thanks, Steve. In education news, the Sanford Fritch Independent School District is preparing for the first day of school on Thursday.
The district is required to offer full-time pre-K, so they have turned to veteran teachers to help recruit new teachers needed to meet this demand. ABC 7's Drew Powell has that story.
We see really 2 problems. One, there's less candidates, and 2, those candidates want to be in the bigger metroplex areas.
Teacher Lindy Price is preparing one of the new pre-K classrooms for an anticipated 30 pre-K students at Sanford Fritch Elementary School. The state of Texas now requires school districts to offer full-time pre-K. Finding teachers willing to work in pre-K or ones who have expertise in early childhood education is a challenge.
It has children come in, they're little, they're learning language, they're learning vocabulary, they're being read to, they're creating a schedule, they're understanding what school's about, following rules, walking down the hall.
New mandates from the state combined with a shrinking applicant pool of hiring new teachers. Superintendent Jim McClellan says school districts that are in rural settings have no choice but to get creative when it comes to hiring new teachers.
The people that are here like being here, and we try to get new hires here to talk to them. During our interview process, we make sure that our more experienced teachers are a part of that, so that they can see that they're coming into a great environment.
Teacher Gina McCown has 23 years teaching experience. She says the applicant pool is shrinking and that over the last 2 decades, the profession is taking on more responsibilities.
We have to know if anyone has allergies, food allergies, and be aware of that. We have to be aware of who can pick up children and who cannot. Lockdown procedures in case we have someone that tries to enter our building and it's unsafe.
Although I won't make millions of dollars teaching, what I get out of it by the love of my parents and my students is well worth that money.
Which keeps some educators in the business while others look for higher paying jobs in large cities. Drew Powell, ABC 7 News.
To help districts with hiring new teachers, the U.S. Department of Education approved a loan forgiveness program for future teachers in select subjects.
Those subjects are bilingual English and special education for elementary and secondary schools, plus math and career and technical education for secondary only.
When we come back here on ABC 7 News, Ant says Oklahoma's permitless gun carrying law goes into effect in November, but one lawmaker is now challenging that law. What would need to happen to reverse the legislation?
Plus, it is almost like the real thing. Today, teachers in Sanford Fritch got a taste of Italy. Find out who's behind the annual meal next on ABC 7 News at 6.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 6 with David Bradley, Nicole Kahn, Lee Baker with sports, and Storm Surge 7 Chief Meteorologist Steve Kirsch. This is ABC 7 News, the Panhandle Spirit.